My name is Ethan Sinclair, and for most of my 16 years, I thought family meant a steady rhythm of switching homes every month. My mother, Claire, and my father, Michael, living in the same city for my sake. I loved them both and never questioned their sacrifices. Claire turning down job offers, Michael shelving career moves. Also, I wouldn't have to endure a grueling commute. But when Claire married Martin Cole 2 years ago, everything changed. Martin was 42, only 2 years older than Claire, and father to 2 boys, Aaron, 15, and Dylan, 12, whose mother had died when they were young. At first, Martin was polite. He asked about my grades, my friends, my ambitions. Then one afternoon, without warning, he stopped speaking to me altogether. He would turn away if I entered a room. Aaron and Dylan fell in line, staring straight ahead whenever I tried to say hello. Claire reassured me there were private reasons Martin couldn't discuss, and she begged me to bear it for her happiness. So I did, month after month, year after year, enduring silent meals and empty greetings. That Friday evening, Claire set out steaming bowls of pasta, candles flickering in the dining room. I slid into my seat between Martin and his son Aaron, but Martin didn't look up. He tapped his phone, thumbs drumming against the table. "Come on, Ethan, eat something," Claire said, glancing at Martin. "You've got to be starving." I lifted my fork, feeling the tension. Martin, jaw clenched, finally broke the silence, voice low and clipped. "Too much sauce, right? I mean, it's like drowning in flavor over here." I totally froze for a second. Yeah, it's all good, really." He smirked and said, "You know, everything I touch just gets ruined if you touch it first. Seriously." Claire's hand hovered over my arm and I could feel her warmth. "Martin," he cut her off, shaking his head. "No way, Claire. If he's living here, he better learn some manners, you know?" Silence swallowed the room like a thick fog. Aaron shot me a look, then stared at the ceiling, clearly wishing he was anywhere but here. Dylan poked at his plate, not saying a word. I swallowed hard, my voice shaking as I tried to break the tension. Are you really okay with this? I just want to make sure." Martin's gaze snapped to me, cold, hard. "I'll be fine once you're out of my house. Seriously, just go already." Claire stood up, her cheeks all rosy. "Okay, that's it. Dinner's done." I retreated to my room, pasta untouched, heart pounding like crazy, you know? Later that night, I quietly tiptoed down the hall to Claire's home office because something in Martin's tone just didn't sit right with me. The door was slightly open, so I peeked in and saw her laptop screen lit up with an email draft to Martin. Subject: Our secret arrangement. "Martin, remember when you said living with my kid would be a nightmare? I promised I'd make it all better, like it was just Ethan being a handful." My blood ran cold. Claire had blamed me for Martin's bitterness, fabricating stories to protect herself from ever having to care for his mother. A knot in my chest untied. This wasn't just silent treatment. It was sabotage. Claire suddenly popped up in the doorway, her eyes wide and glassy with panic. "Ethan, what are you doing?" she whispered, glancing around nervously, eyes wide. I held up the laptop and said, "So this is why I'm treated like a total ghost, huh?" She backed away, her eyes wide. I was just trying to keep the peace, you know." "Peace?" I laughed bitterly. "You built a house of lies, and it's crumbling." Her shoulders slumped, and she sighed. "I'm really sorry. I thought it'd be easier, you know?" That Sunday morning, Claire was all set to drive me to Michael's for my monthly stay with Dad, but I just wouldn't budge until we had a chat. I mean, I needed to get some things off my chest, you know? "Just come, please," she pleaded, her voice trembling with a mix of hope and fear. I folded my arms and shot her a look. "Are you really sorry for leaving me all alone? For lying to me?" Her eyes welled up with tears. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ethan. But Martin, he scared me." "Afraid of what?" I pressed, raising an eyebrow and crossing my arms, curious. Claire's jaw quivered. "That I'd never be able to protect him or you." I realized then that her so-called sacrifices were really just her way of protecting herself. The car was dead silent as she pulled over, and I just climbed out, slamming the door behind me. "Don't call me until you really mean it," I shouted back, feeling frustrated. Strolling up to the front gate, I felt it deep down. Nothing would ever be the same again. Last summer break, my friends and I had drifted apart, and I was already feeling isolated when I woke one morning to find the house empty. No Martin, no Aaron or Dylan, no Claire. I padded down the hallway in my socks, the only sound my heartbeat thumping against plaster walls. In the living room, the TV was dark, the sofas unmoved, as if the whole house was holding its breath. A single sandal lay abandoned on the floor. I picked it up, puzzled. My phone buzzed like crazy. It was Claire. I hit answer before it rang twice, eager to chat. "Claire, where are you?" I called out, my voice a little shaky and anxious. She sighed, background noise crackling, a distant seagull or maybe a gull laughing at me. "We're on the coast," she said. "Martin, Aaron, and Dylan wanted a trip. You're to stay here and watch the house." I glanced at the window, which was unlocked. "Watch the house?" "Just don't worry about it," she said, her irritation bubbling up like a pot about to boil over. "Mom, is Ethan coming?" I heard Dylan's small, curious voice behind me, full of hope. Claire's tone got serious. "He just didn't want to, plain and simple." "And choose?" My stomach lurched, and I felt a wave of panic. "I didn't choose. This wasn't my call." She cut me off mid-sentence. "You need to manage it, Ethan." Then she just hung up on me, leaving me stunned. The line went dead. I stared at the sandal, the silence, the sense that I'd been erased. Fury flared so hot I could taste it. I slipped the key from under Claire's usual potted fern, where she always hid it, and dropped it into my pocket. Before leaving, I dialed my best friend, Marco. He didn't pick up. I left a voicemail. "They left me here alone. My mom hung up on me. I'm coming to your place if you want to hang out." No reply. Of course not. Our friendship was already fraying. I locked the front door behind me and jogged to the car, heart hammering. The neighborhood lay swallowed in dawn light, empty streets stretching before me like an unspoken dare. Michael's driveway came into view. His car was still in the garage. I slammed on the brakes and the tires squealed. He poked his head out the front window. "Ethan?" he called, stepping onto the porch with a yawn. His hair was all messy, eyes red from sleep. "It's way too early for this. What's up?" "I'm not staying there," I said, my voice shaky. I could see worry flash across his face, and it made my heart race. He swung the door open before I even had a chance to knock. "What's going on?" I just had to let it all out, you know? The cold dinners, Martin's icy stares, and Claire's call where she acted like I was some random stranger instead of her son. Michael just sank into the couch, soaking up the morning light that spilled across his knees. "She left me all alone for a whole week," I said, my voice cracking. "And then she totally blamed me for everything." Michael's jaw tightened as he looked me in the eye, his grip on my hand firm, yet reassuring. "You totally did the right thing," he said softly. "No one gets to erase you, you know?" His phone buzzed and he glanced down. It was a text from Claire. "Come home. Robbers broke in. Thanks a lot for this mess." I flinched, totally taken aback. "Wait, she's actually blaming me for the break-in?" Michael tossed his phone onto the table, shaking his head. "She's totally out of her mind." I leaned against him, tears finally slipping free. I thought I was losing them both. It felt like my heart was breaking, you know? He wrapped an arm around me, pulling me close. "Not on my watch." And in that moment, amidst the wreckage of lies and hurt, I realized I wasn't alone anymore. It felt like a weight lifted, you know? Like I could finally breathe. 5 days later, my phone buzzed, and there it was, Claire's name. My chest tightened. Finally, I thought, she's gonna apologize. I could feel my heart racing. "Ethan!" Her voice crackled, a mix of panic and fury. "They broke in! The TV's gone! My grandma's locket! Everything's missing!" "Claire," I snapped, frustration bubbling up. "I told you, I'm not sticking around." "You abandoned your post!" she screamed, her voice echoing like a thunderclap. "If you'd just been here—" I held the phone away from my face and sighed. "You totally left me here alone with no heads up at all." Before I could even say a word, Claire hit a button. Suddenly, Martin's gravelly voice came through the line, all tinny and distant, like he was far away. Thanks to you, we're totally ruined, and it's all your fault, you know? Martin, Claire stammered, her voice shaky. Seriously, not now, okay? I can't. Don't tell me what to do, he roared, his voice booming with anger. I always knew you'd bring disaster into this house just like I feared. His words hit me like a punch to the gut. The guy who acted like I was invisible was now pointing fingers at me for something I didn't even do. Can you believe that? Across town, Michael's hands clenched around his coffee mug when I explained the call. He stood, pacing the kitchen with thunder in his eyes. This is ridiculous. I'm going to get some answers. Michael showed up out of the blue at Claire's place that evening, with rain splattering all over the pavement. When Claire opened the door, her makeup was all streaked from crying. It was clear she'd been through a lot. Michael, she began, her voice cracking, a mix of fear and hope swirling inside her. He pushed past her into the living room, where the furniture was untouched, save an overturned lamp. Show me the police report, he demanded, and tell me exactly what happened. Claire's lips quivered. She sank onto the couch, spinning her wedding ring. I'm sorry, she whispered, head bowed. Michael's voice turned cold as ice. Wait, what? You blamed Ethan for your lies and now you're throwing him under the bus for this too? She stared at the floor, remembering how months ago Martin asked to move in with us, like it felt so sudden. He interrupted her, raising an eyebrow. Wait, you actually told him Ethan was a menace? Tears filled her eyes as she spoke. I was so scared. I just couldn't have his sick mom living with us. So, I made up a story. I told him Ethan said terrible stuff about her, that he was really mean to me. Michael's hands shook nervously on the coffee table. Wait, you painted your own son as the bad guy? Claire nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. Honestly, I thought it would be simpler than telling you and me just can't be together right now. But then Martin took me seriously, and I had no clue how to make it right. He stepped close, expression unreadable. You sacrificed Ethan's happiness to protect your own comfort. Claire raised her head, tears running down her cheeks. I'm so sorry. Michael exhaled, sinking to a chair opposite her. Sorry won't undo what you've done, but it's time the truth comes out. That night, as they surveyed the still silent house, I realized this war of words and secrets would fracture more than broken glass. It would shatter the illusion of our happy family forever. 1 week after the emails flew, the tension exploded in two dramatic encounters, first behind closed doors with Michael, then under the harsh lights of the courtroom. Claire burst through the glass door of Michael's law office just as he was gathering his briefcase. Rain plastered her hair to her forehead. Claire, voice trembling. Michael, please, just hear me out. We can fix this. Martin called me this morning. He'll reconsider if you talk to him. Michael, coldly. Claire, you lied about your own son to a man you barely knew. I didn't file for custody because I want him. Claire, cutting in, tears in her eyes. You know I love Ethan. I was scared. Of Martin's mother, of our life together falling apart. Michael. Scared? You made Ethan the scapegoat for your fears? That isn't love. Claire, voice breaking. I'm sorry. I'll do anything to make this right. Michael, turning away. You chose selfishness over honesty. The court will decide what's right for Ethan now. Claire's shoulders slumped as she realized there was no bargaining with him. Only the judge could undo her deception. The following morning, the custody hearing began in a packed courtroom. Michael's attorney stood, clicking through exhibits on a projector. Attorney, to judge. Your Honor, we submit Exhibit B, email drafts in which Ms. Foster explicitly blames her son for family discord. A hush fell as the attorney advanced to the bench, sliding printed drafts across. Judge, peering over glasses. Ms. Foster, did you write these messages? Claire, voice quavering. Yes, Your Honor. Judge. And you sent them to Mr. Cole under the pretense of protecting your relationship at the expense of your son? Claire, barely audible. I was wrong. Martin from the gallery quietly. She nearly destroyed everything, including him. The judge's gavel rapped. Outside, reporters scribbled notes. In the corridor, friends and neighbors whispered about the mother who'd painted her child as a villain. As Claire stumbled from the courtroom, Aaron and Dylan caught up to her. Aaron, voice small. "Mom, I'm sorry we never stood up for Ethan." Dylan, eyes red. "We believed you, but it felt wrong." Claire pressed a shaking hand to her forehead. "I betrayed you all. I'm so sorry." Across the hall, I watched in silence, my throat tight. Their apologies rang hollow against years of lies. I turned and walked away, the echoes of Claire's sobs fading behind me. Now, 2 months into my new life with Michael, the weight that used to settle on my chest has begun to lift, though not without a few more storms to weather before the sky truly clears. Lockers clanged all around me as I navigated the throng of students. A cluster of juniors whispered behind me. Familiar faces, curious eyes. Jenna, leaning in. "Hey, Ethan, I heard about the custody thing. You okay?" Me, offering a small smile. "Better than I've been in years." Liam, grinning. "Counselor says you're a superhero now, right?" I laughed, something louder and more genuine than it had been in ages. More like a work in progress. They fell in step beside me. For the first time, I realized that returning to school didn't mean walking back into my old shell. I was stepping into a new version of myself, someone who could stand tall. Dr. Reyes drummed her pen on the desk as I settled into the chair. A framed quote on the wall read, "Healing begins where the wound was made." Dr. Reyes. "Tell me about yesterday's visit." Me, tensing. "I went to see Claire." Dr. Reyes. "What happened?" Me. "She apologized again, this time in person. She said losing her mother made her realize she never learned to love properly." Dr. Reyes. "And did you forgive her?" Me, shaking my head. "No. But I didn't yell or storm out. I listened." I felt a flicker of pride. Listening, really listening, was something I hadn't allowed myself to do for years. The three of us lounged on deck chairs, the late afternoon sun warm on our shoulders. Marco skimmed a pebble across the water's surface. "Marco, you've changed, man. It's like the invisible kid got a voice." Sophia. "We missed you, Ethan." I closed my eyes and let the breeze brush over me. I missed me too. They toasted with bottles of iced tea, and I realized that healing wasn't a solo journey. It was finding the people who refused to let you vanish. Michael flipped burgers on the balcony grill as city lights winked at us. The scent of grilling meat and autumn leaves filled the air. Michael. "We're overdue for a proper meal together." Me. "I'm hungry for food and normalcy." He placed a burger on my plate and sat across the small table. Michael. "You taught me what family really means." Me, smiling. "You taught me that honesty beats sacrifice." As we ate, I watched the skyline and felt a deep, honest contentment. Not just the absence of pain, but the presence of possibility. Claire buzzed me in. Her furniture was sparse, boxes still lined the walls. She led me to a single chair in the middle of an empty room. Claire, quietly. "I'm moving to start over. I thought it'd help." Me. "It's a good step." She pressed a letter into my hand, her final apology written in ink. Claire. "No expectations. I just want you to have this." Me. "Thank you." I hesitated, then placed my hand over hers. "Maybe someday." Her eyes shimmered. "I'll wait." I drive home with the windows down, autumn wind tangling my hair. At 16, I've lived lifetimes of hurt, but also lifetimes of growth. My life isn't perfect, but it's real, filled with friends who see me, a father who listens, and a mother who's finally learning what love truly demands. The empty rooms and silent dinners are behind me, replaced by open doors and honest conversations. And for the first time, I believe that the family I deserve is one I've helped create. One built not on sacrifice alone, but on the foundation of respect, trust, and the courage to walk away when love demands it. My phone buzzes against the dashboard. "Ethan?" Claire's voice is small, measured. "Claire," softly. I. My mother slipped last night. She's in the ICU. Me, throat tight. You want me to come? Claire. I'm scared. I know you think I don't deserve it, but she asked for you. My stomach twists. The woman who painted me as a villain now needs me. I swallow, glance at the empty passenger seat. Me. All right, tell me where. I slip into the fluorescent hallway. Claire stands by the nurse's station, tears staining her coat. We follow the nurse to a private room. Her mother's hand trembles on the bed rail. Claire crouches, voice cracking. Claire. Mom, I'm so sorry for everything. I lied about Ethan. I was afraid of telling the truth. Mother, weakly. We all make mistakes, but you need your son. I step forward, heart pounding. Me. I'm here. Claire's shoulders shake. For a moment, our eyes meet. Her regret met by my cautious compassion. A week later, my phone lights up with a text from Aaron. Hey, Ethan, Mom insisted, but Dylan and I want you to come to Thanksgiving dinner. No drama. Just us. You in? I stare at the message, pulse thumping. I type back. I'll think about it. That evening, I call Michael. Me. Dad, they want me at Thanksgiving. Michael, gentle. Only if you're ready. You don't owe them forgiveness. Me. I want a chance to build something real, with or without them. He's silent for a moment, then go. On your terms. Back at home, the lamps are low. Michael pours 2 mugs of hot chocolate. We sit on the porch swing, steam drifting into the night. Michael. I'm proud of you. Me. I'm learning that trust takes time. He nods. And that sometimes the biggest act of love is protecting yourself first. I raise my mug. To new beginnings. He clinks his mug to mine. To honesty. I slip inside, the wind dying down as I hang up my jacket. At 16, I've faced more storms than most adults, and I know there'll be more to come. But now I carry something stronger than fear, a clear sense of who I am and where I belong. The road ahead is uncertain, but for the first time, I drive toward it with my own hands on the wheel, no longer a passenger in my own life, but the author of my story.